States. So it's just so crazy to me, though, that I would be sitting in this seat, had I not been doing voiceovers, because I think I've been attending conventions as just a regular attendee since 2005, 2006, back at Anime Central in my hometown of Chicago. So it's just so crazy when people come up to me at autograph sessions or after panels and stuff and ask for my autograph and like want to take pictures of me, and you get the occasional person that freaks out because you're playing this character that they really love, and I'm like, that was just me like 2 years ago. So that's so crazy to me, and I don't know if that feeling will ever really fade, but it's a good feeling, so I hope it doesn't.
I can tell you after 14 years, it never really fades. I'm still a 13-year-old boy attending conventions. I'm just up here looking out at everybody else going, how did that happen? So no, and that's a great feeling. I'm glad you have that. How about a round of applause for those amazing answers? All right, we've got some time here. What other questions do we have? Back here, yes, young lady. Was yesterday my first time hosting the cosplay contest? Well, no, dear. I've actually been doing this since this young lady in the purple was probably born. But it was my first time working with you, and that was very special. I thought you were just adorable up there. So I'm glad you were there. Now, are you coming to closing ceremonies? Okay, because that's when they're going to announce the winners for all of our contests, including the cosplay contest. So all y'all should be here as well if you can make it. Also, it's my final bow, so you should always be here for that. That's important. It'll be 5 o'clock. Is 5 o'clock? 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock. So be sure to be here. And thank you for your question. That was wonderful. What other questions do we have? Yes, ma'am.
What is the weirdest thing a fan has ever given you?
Chuck probably has more.
Yeah. Well, while you're thinking about that, Chuck, I can tell you that the weirdest thing I've ever got was a chibi version of myself. There were two made, and they were like $150 each. They were custom made, and I guess hers sat on her shelf in her bedroom, which I find kind of interesting. That the little version of me staring at somebody all night, and then mine is actually on a shelf. But that was one of the coolest things I've ever got. A chibi version. Peter Bixby.
I can't think of any weird things I've been given. Anger. For playing Shao Tucker at Full Metal Alchemist, fans will come up and dump like serious anger, like honestly angry at me, Chuck Huber, for playing a character. Why did you do that? I didn't do it. I'm just an no, you're a jerk, and like throw things at me. Probably anger would be the weirdest.
We have two fans in Boise, Idaho, that every time we go to Boise and play at Anime Oasis there, these two fans bring us a large bag of food. So one year it was like a bag full of fried chicken, like fried chicken. Last year was, or this year it was pita pit, so it was just full of pitas and sodas. Like, thanks! And they give us gift bags this year, too, with, like, snacks for the road home. So it's not really weird. It's actually pretty awesome, because we're usually really hungry. So I call that going above and beyond. So if you guys want to bring us food, you can be mentioned in panels like this.
Let's see, one time after playing a convention in Sacramento, California, a fan took off their shoes, which were like soaked in sweat, and gave them to us, and just didn't know what to do with them.
We played at a prison, and we also got a pair of shoes. What were they called? We had like the prison shoes. Like you get your shoes. And it's like a ranking system. Like everyone in prison knows you're a newbie if you have these shoes, because they're like the free shoes you get when you first get there. And then after you earn money for a while, then you can buy other shoes, which you want to do as quickly as possible.
So you're married?
Sounds like a video game. Slowly leveling up.
Were you married after that with the shoes? Was it exactly?
I don't know why we keep getting shoes. Something about us, like, the shoes.
Oh, they were Doc Wardens.
Doc Warden. Wardens.
Yeah.
Warden of a prison. Yes.
I don't think I've gotten anything really weird yet.
Yeah.
There's time.
Yeah.
I'm sure, plenty of time. I will say, not really weird in a bad way, just kind of cool, really, that I've gotten at this convention. Is I had a couple of people give me artwork that they did of a character that I played. I thought that was really cool. I'd never known it ever given me artwork of my characters before a convention. I thought that was
Be sure to frame it and put it on your wall. That's where mine goes. It's cool.
I haven't gotten anything weird at a convention yet, but I just remembered that after Kill la Kill got announced, I got, out of nowhere, just 2 drawings on Tumblr that somebody linked me to of Pac-Man dressed up in the Suncat's outfit. So if you don't know what either looks like, Pac-Man is of course a spherical creature with arms and legs and this weird like phallic nose. And Suncat, the transformation outfit that Ryuko wears is this really skimpy thing that pretty much covers like barely the necessities. So seeing Pac-Man dressed up in basically a garter belt and shoulder pads was a little strange.
And she also does the voice of Pac in the video game, for those who don't know. So that's fun.
That's
Odd, but
Yes.
fun.
That's what I said.
Yes, in the back.
This is a question for everyone. What is the first time that you ever met a really obsessed fan, and how did you feel about that?
Well, like I kind of said earlier, I haven't really done too many conventions yet, so I haven't gotten to experience that pleasure. But I don't know if she was like super obsessed, but I had a girl come up to me at Sakura-con, and she was kind of like shaking and like, oh my god, I like really love Maki, and oh, it's so awesome, like I'm so glad you're here, and that was kind of cool in a way, because I was like, calm down, it's just me. Like, I'm nothing special, so it probably would have been me if I was meeting like Chuck Huber for the first time, or like,
It was me meeting Chuck Huber.
There are really sweet fans who you can tell are just really enthusiastic and really enjoy just their enthusiasm. And then there are others, like there's one we know who frequents conventions in Los Angeles who's a bit intense, can be a little scary, like, okay, please don't hurt. It's okay, it's just a show. But I don't know. Again, most of the people I've met are very sweet and endearing. I can't think of anyone in particular.
Right on.
Most of our fans are pretty awesome. Like we actually just consider them our friends. We talk to them all the time on using social media and stuff. But I guess one time it was a little odd. There was a con staffer for a convention that we performed at, and she had told her family and all her friends and all the people at the convention there that the 2 of us were actually not only dating, but that we were engaged to be married. I didn't know this, so we show up at the convention, we start playing, she's like, oh, come meet my mom. I'm like, okay. I was like, hi. And her mom was like treating me super nice, like, well, yeah, we want to take you out to dinner and stuff. I'm like, wow, that's really nice. Someone's like, oh my God, our band out. And I was like, why are they so nice? And then someone's like, so when are you getting married? I was like, I'm not even engaged. And they're like, what? And it was like this really strange conversation I had to have and say, look, I barely know you, we're not dating, and we're certainly not getting married. But we still want to play the show, so please don't be mad. And it just was really awkward and interesting.
I guess there were 2 fans that were arguing over who was my wife and who was my lover online on Facebook. and I was tagged in this conversation. And then my wife, she goes on and she likes it. She's very sweet.
I haven't had many really awkward or weird fan experiences. I always say that I have the best job in the world because I always consider fans my boss. You know how like you've had jobs where you have jobs where you have bosses who are kind of weird or annoying or different, and you have to just deal with them because they're your boss. And I sort of consider all the fandom my boss. So I have like, thousands and thousands of little bosses all over the world. But there was this one time at SoccerCon, there was this girl named Erica Mendez who was there. Totally flipped out. It was weird.
You made her blush. How cute is that?
It was funny though, because she was like, "I'm a guest, but I'm nerding out over you." I was like, "Oh, really? That's cool."
That's wonderful. All right, what other questions do we have out there? Good.
I got one.
Yeah, go ahead, Randy.
Okay, for Erica, Lucian, and Chuck, if you could steal a VA job from any other voice actor, who would it be? And for the Slants, if you could steal a venue from any other band, what would be like your dream venue?
I would be Edward Elric. This is my best big mignon.
I don't have a big mignona voice. I can't do it.
I don't know. I mean, we love playing every venue because I mean, even in a small room, you feel the warmth and smell the sweat of your fans. In a big venue, you feel the energy because there's just so many people there. But I suppose I would steal Wembley Stadium from Justin Bieber after punching him in the face.
Poke him in his glass eye.
We've been blessed to play so many different places, and I gotta say, well, so far, Anime Wichita, you guys are among that top. So
We'd steal it for ourselves.
We still but yeah, it's hard to say, but I mean, I think every time we have a chance to share our art, it's an amazing experience. So, I'm thankful that we can continue doing this.
Wonderful.
Well, the first anime series that I ever watched, which was what got me into anime, was a series called The Slayers, and there was a character in it called Delgadis, which was my first favorite anime character. When it came into the series, I thought, this guy's really cool. He's so mysterious, and you can tell just by his confidence, and his quiet-spoken demeanor, he's like really powerful, and he's just really cool. And so I think it would have to be him, for sure.
Excellent.
One of my favorite anime series is Fruits Basket. So I would probably steal Toru from Laura Bailey.
I see.
She'll be fine. She has enough going on already.
She doesn't have a career.
Exactly. No, it's not like she's doing really well.
One of my favorite guests that we've had at AFW, and I've liked all of them, but early on we had Kate Bristol, who was Kisa at Fruits Basket, and she wanted to direct it. She was like 18. It was her first. Was she 18 when she came here? Yeah, she just turned 18. She'd been doing Fruits Basket, and we were her very first convention. In fact, I think we've been her only convention. I don't think she went on to do any more conventions, but then she toured as Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz and went to Pace, and so she went on to do bigger, better things. So hey, good news is maybe you guys will go on to do bigger, better things.
Do you think anime is not cool?
I'm saying it's one of the most awesome things you can do.
Yeah.
But yes, what a great question. Thank you, Randy. All right, what other questions do we have? We're going to have to do a big yawn, I think. Is there your point? Yes, go ahead.
Just curious, so this is for everybody. So I don't know if any of you ever cosplayed, obviously being guests or prior to being guests, but what were some of the Halloween costumes you guys wore growing up? Or maybe even in adulthood?
I actually used to cosplay, but I've deleted all of those photos off the internet. But some of my early Halloween costumes, I was the Pink Ranger, my favorite Ranger, as most girls' favorite Ranger was, I'm sure. I was Sonic the Hedgehog, Tweety Bird one year, a ninja, and I don't know, probably like a fairy or something.
All right.
It was just all around. I was all over the gender spectrum, you know, as far as costumes go.
The one Halloween costume I recall, because I believe I won first place in our local Halloween costume contest, was Thor. And it's a much younger, not now. I'm not talking, last year, you know, when I won the costume contest in Ithaca. But yeah, as a young boy, had the big hammer made of, again, I don't know, styrofoam wrapped in tinfoil or whatever, and a little hat with the wings and stuff. Yeah, that's the one I recall most vividly.
One time our band actually dressed up as the crazy 88s from Kill Bill, which is kind of a fun way to circle back, because watching that film was when I got the idea to start this band to begin with. So it was really cool to kind of take the stage and do a show as the crazy 88s instead.
You guys know who Borat is? I dressed up like Borat one year, and I decided to stay in character all day long. So I had a day job, so I went to work, and I was very rude to my boss. Saying really inappropriate things all day because I was a character and just kind of got into it. Then later in the day, I was invited to my neighbor's Halloween party, and I didn't really know my neighbors that well. I didn't know anyone at the party, so I go here dressed like Borat in character. I walk in, and like the most beautiful girl at the party, I walk up to her and I go, "How much?" And then later, I ended up. She gave me her number, and I asked her out, and we went out on a date, but she had no idea what I looked like because I've been wearing a wig and like a mustache.
Oh, and Tyler actually did the voice of Borat for some local commercials.
I actually cosplayed as Dr. Stein one time at a panel, and it was Vic and Scott McNeil, and so I just showed up late and sort of walked in with the crowd, and they're like, "Where's Chuck? Where's Chuck?" And finally they were like, "Well, I guess he's not coming. We better start the panel." And I stood up and I went, "That guy's a jerk." And then they were like, "Oh my God, you're dressed like Stein." And so I cosplay as Stein every once in a while.
That's awesome. Yes.
I got a two-part for everybody. The first one is if you guys had a crush on an anime character, what was your very first crush? And the second part is, if you can pull any of the characters out and turn them into your wife, which one would you want to choose? Or wife or husband?
Medusa, for both answers. I have a total crush on Medusa from Soul Eater. I don't know why, I just think she's totally hot. Sad to destroy her, but I mean, that's relationships. Little Mermaid, all the way. Ariel? I know that's not quite anime, sorry.
It works.
Well, I grew up watching Robotech, so probably Min-May.
Yeah.
So embarrassed. I recall my first crush on an anime character was in the Final Fantasy, was it the Crystal Bearers? I forget now, this was quite a few years ago. Not the newer, there's another Final Fantasy series, Ultimate or whatever, Ultima. Not that one, the previous one, that was like an OVA set. I think it was Lenali, I believe her name was. And I just remember about that time when those feelings start to emerge. Like, what is this? Like, sweet.
Probably have a crush on Sinbad from Magi, but I don't think I'd marry him because he's kind of a ladies' man and plays with girls' hearts. So
Sinbad is that way.
I'd probably marry, I think, Weber from Fate Zero. So, which is funny because I'm dating his voice. So it worked out.
Who's that? I don't know.
Some guy.
Some guy, yeah. Did you say some loser?
No, Lord, no.
All the time.
To be clear, they're dating. Yeah. Oh, who's that?
I said she called her.
She called it.
And she's like, I think so.
Is it
Sometimes.
I was probably hitting him in the hallway too.
That could be it.
Must be love. So, what other questions do we have? Yes, over in the corner.
Tell me your thoughts on Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, your thoughts?
Can
Can
I say something first?
Yes.
I haven't watched it yet. I plan to, so just before you guys speak, no spoilers, okay?
They all die.
We just marathoned most of the third season, and so we got to this really gruesome fight between people. But something really bad happened to somebody's face. And it was an interesting episode to leave off on. But I'm not really a huge fan of gore and stuff, so I have to look away a lot, and I don't really like nudity either. So I don't know why I watched the show, really. But
For the character.
I like Daenerys. Daenerys is why I watch the show. And dragons. Dragons are awesome.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a good show when I don't have to look away.
Yeah. My favorite characters are Tyrion and Arya. Arya, which for some reason, in this last season, it seems like people are saying Aya. I don't know why. Did anyone?
I think it's just the accent.
It's just the accent. But they didn't do it, I swear they didn't do it in the first. Anyways. Yeah, I really enjoy the series. Some content, I won't mention specifics, but for the younger ears in the room, it sometimes seems like why
Because HBO.
Because HBO, exactly. It's because we can.
It's in the books.
Well, I know some of it is, but because I have friends who also, friend in particular, who also read the books, and he's like, yeah, that scene wasn't in it. And I'm okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Because we can. But I do enjoy the series.
There's a great YouTube video of an actress talking to her parents about the part she got, and it sounds like she's talking about porn. And all her friends are like horrified, and then at the end she says, "Oh no, it's on HBO," and they're like, "Oh, that's awesome."
Obviously, I love Game of Thrones. I'm wearing a Hodor T-shirt. I love the books and the series. I mean, I think it's a great story. Really cool characters, and I like that it takes you down unexpected paths. That it doesn't always follow the paradigm of a hero. So it's good. I enjoy it quite a bit. I watch it, read it all.
You guys heard my answer.
Yeah, and my answer is I haven't watched it yet or read the book. I keep putting off watching it because people say the books are awesome, so I'm like, I want to read the books first, but the books are hard.
Those books are.
Yeah, I got all those words on the pictures.
Well, I wouldn't have got the book if I didn't watch this show first. Like,
oh, really?
Because there's so many characters. And, like, I mean, I remember the first time I watched it, I was like, all these guys look the same. Like,
That's great.
you know, there are no Asian people on the show. But
All you bearded white people live
But so I watched it first, and I don't think I would have gotten into the book if I didn't start watching the show.
Okay, that's good. I can watch the show.
Now, I will tell you that Outlander is coming out very shortly, and if you've not read those books, do. But by Diana Gabaldon, it's not quite as gruesome as Game of Thrones, but for historical romance, science fiction, medical. Well, my wife's not here. It's got everything in it, and some great actors, but it's going to be on Showtime. So do check that out. You'll want to read the books afterward, I promise. Yes.
What's your favorite really old video game or anime? The first one you ever watched?
My favorite old video game, and it's the first video game that made me think video games were going to be awesome, was when Pilot Wings came out on the Nintendo 64. It was like, we've got jetpacks! We're like, flying around these sort of, and like, the first time I took that hang glider down the side of that waterfall and like, did the left-hand turn and landed it perfectly, I was pretty good.
I love GoldenEye for N64, and I never ended up getting any video game systems afterwards, so my friends that are gamers come up and they're like, hey, you want to play? And I'm like, oh, come on, man, you don't have an Xbox?